All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, excited to be talking to an individual set to headline BKFC 35, which goes down on January 27th. A very intriguing bout with Yosdenis Cedeno getting out there, knuckling up, and towing the line against Gorjan Slaveski, and happy to be welcoming Go on the show. How's everything going with the training ahead of this one, man?
Oh, everything is perfect, man. I can't complain. I'm fully healthy, and I'm already in shape. The camp is going pretty well. Like I said, we're ready for whatsoever, whenever.
Yeah, and this is a very key one at 165 pounds. And I was seeing you had a recent post about a couple weeks ago where you were saying like main event title eliminator. Is that something BKFC has expressly communicated to you, or are you just looking based on the rankings? I mean, you're number 3. It would make sense. Is it based on that more so, or has BKFC said this more so?
No, BKFC said it, and it's even on the poster. It says on top of it, it says title eliminator fight. So when I win this fight, I'm gonna fight for the title afterwards.
Well, I mean, that's incredibly exciting for sure. I mean, like I said, makes sense in a lot of ways, but also in the context of, I mean, you began your bare-knuckle career last year. You got all 4 wins in 2022. You debuted in April. Like, it's just, you're really taking to this sport like a duck to water, it seems like. Like, what do you think about your general progression and the quick rate of that within BKFC so far?
Oh, this is my sport, man. I was made for this. I found myself over here way more than I found myself in boxing, and I'm gonna stay here for a while. I just feel this is like a home base for me because I have a combination of street fighter and boxing skills, so it suits me well.
And that's curious because, I mean, you did have successes as a gloved boxer. Like, I saw you were 8-2 and also captured the UBF European Super Middleweight title. So what is it about bare knuckle that you found is more of like a natural fit for like what you bring to the table as a fighter?
The explosiveness, and because it's on a very high pace on all 5 rounds. It's shorter rounds, 2 minutes. It's more of a toughness sport. It's more brutal than boxing. The adrenaline is way more up, and like I said, it's on a very higher pace, and the danger is just a little bit bigger, which is more exciting to me.
I was also seeing in an interview you did after one of your earlier fights, I want to say it was either the first or the second, but in any event, you were talking about how you were training your knuckles a little differently, and specifically to fight bare knuckle versus like what you would do in like Queensberry rules, gloved boxing. Like, how do you go about training your knuckles specifically for bare knuckle? I'm curious.
So, I strain my bones, and I do mini fractures in a way, which with hitting wall or tree or like a hard surface, and that's pretty much as simple as that. It's everyday work on the knuckles, which is you gotta strain the bones, you gotta numb the nerves and those kind of stuff. So it's a basic training, but it it's a little bit painful.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I guess I just thought to ask because I've talked to some different bare knuckle fighters who will punch the wooden Muay Thai board, or they'll punch the sand, and like the microfractures thing you mentioned is another popular one too.
All of that, even like right work, like dip the hand in the rice and just do bunch of motions, like everything that is on the list, we do it.
Yeah, for sure. And as much as I am going to be talking about this upcoming fight here, I did want to briefly touch on the last fight just because I found it so impressive that you took the fight on 5 days' notice and you ended up going the distance and really comprehensively beating somebody in Evgeny Kurdunov, who was impressing on the Russian bare-knuckle circuit prior to that October fight. Like, what were the big takeaways from that performance there?
So that performance was I tried to box a little bit more because I was actually expecting for him to come in and to be more aggressive, but that didn't happen because I established my power in the first round. I saw that I can pace myself, and because it was on a high altitude, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty hard because conditioning wise. So around the third round, I have to calculate every punch. I had to pick and choose because also my hand was hurt, my left one. So I was using a lot of feints. I was like boxing on that fight. So I learned a lot, definitely. And I'm gonna switch it up. We'll see. I'm gonna adapt to the situation in this one. Whatever he brings to the table, I'm gonna shut it down.
And was the, I guess, injury to your hand something that was like, I guess, an injury coming into the fight because, like I said, it was more short notice, or was it something that was like completely aggravated in the fight itself?
Well, I was still healing from the previous fight. My hands were not fully healed, and I was just shadow boxing and running, pretty much. I was not hitting the bag or anything. So yeah, it was kind of like a little bit injury from the previous fight, and my hands were not ready in a way for another fight, basically. But I didn't care about none of that.
Yeah, and I think it helps too that you have more time to kind of recover now, and you're talking about wanting to be adaptable in this next fight. I think it'll be easier doing that versus the last time where, I mean, it was like even less than 5 weeks from your previous fight because you had like an early September fight against Dallas Davison. So I feel like you'll be more galvanized and able to be adaptable in this next one, I would think.
Yes, like I said, I'm going fully healthy in this one with a full camp. So you're going to see a whole different performance from me on this one. I promise you that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, very impressive work that's been done for sure. Like I was seeing you were getting in some, work with like BKFC Cheat Code, who seemed to like really emerge the last couple years, especially as like the high fight IQ has been developed more and more within the sport. How does it feel to kind of be part of that wave as well? Because it seems like as bare-knuckle has kind of more established itself and kind of like refined itself and people are checking it out now, I feel like people are realizing like the high fight IQ that a lot of like the higher level guys possess. Like, what do you think about the, I guess, emerging like fight IQ, and how much is that a variable to your game and everything?
Oh man, fight IQ is everything, but also it's a different type of fighting IQ when it comes to bare knuckle, because you can have all the boxing IQ in the world or MMA, but this is a whole different sport. I know it's very similar to boxing, but it takes a lot of calmness and thinking in the moment, because everything, like I said, is happening at high pace, and you gotta feel stuff. I don't know. It gotta come natural to you.
Yeah, for sure, and it definitely comes naturally to you, but also I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a lot of the great fighters you've been able to work with too. Like, I mean, Joey Beltran and Howard Davis, and I saw you with Brian Duran a little bit ago. Seems like Slaughterhouse Gang is really emerging and taking over, so it seems like a wealth of great individuals to work with.
Oh yeah, the Slaughterhouse team is just a bunch of successful people, man. It's crazy it's awesome to work with all those people, because everybody's bringing something different to the table, and we're just making each other better. So, like, soon, I'm pretty sure that soon the whole team is going to be with a title around their waist, for sure.
Yeah, certainly a gym that you wave the flag for, and a collective that you represent well, but also the representation is top quality with like representing Macedonia, I think. And I'm kind of curious, like, is that something that in the future you think would be cool in terms of like an opportunity to, maybe have a fight in Macedonia? It seems like you're trending well towards being like a big star within bare knuckle. Like, is that something you find yourself thinking about it all, like even daydreaming about, like, oh, it'd be cool to fight bare knuckle in Macedonia one day?
Sure. I already want to bring BKFC to Macedonia. I'm the first bare knuckle fighter out of there, but I'm pretty sure if I bring like BKFC to Macedonia, that's gonna be packed. It's gonna be a lot of people that want to compete and a lot of people that it's gonna watch. So I'm super excited. I'm pretty sure that eventually David will want to make a show over there.
Yeah, it seems like you're a younger fighter in the sport too. Like I was seeing you were 28 in your BKFC bio. So I mean, plenty of years to like really achieve a lot of great things like that and, eliminate the bucket list, as it were. But something that also kind of fits within that age conversation too is the longevity it seems to afford a lot of the bare knuckle fighters. Have you been feeling that as well? Like I feel like a lot of fighters talk about how it's like a little easier on the body than some other combat sports, and you can sustain your efforts more doing it competitively.
We're talking about the bare knuckle stuff that you can do it longer than competitively.
Yeah, I guess more so your former MMA guys have mentioned that, but have you noticed that it's like a little easier on your body, or is it a little more difficult even?
So when it comes to, I'm not sure. I think it's pretty even, and also a little bit even more dangerous when it comes to like cuts, like skin, those kind of stuff, but like surface type of damage. But other than that, I think it's the same toll that my body's taking when I was practicing for boxing or even when I was wrestling. So I think it depends on how hard you train at the end of the day. I don't know how people are walking in the ring with what kind of training camp, but I'm going super hard, and I know that my body's definitely taking the same toll as it was taken as in boxing. So I would not say that it's easier.
Yeah, I guess just different considerations leading in and stuff like that, as you outlined there. But in talking about this, next task here and this upcoming opponent, just doing my backgrounding on them, I was noticing they had just shy of like 20 MMA fights, like, former, UFC competitor and things of that nature, but also back-to-back, BKFC specific wins, had a split decision initially and then, collected a unanimous decision thereafter at Knucklemania 2, and they're getting back to it after about close to a year of being out of competition. Like, what are the main thoughts on Yosdenis Cedeno? Like, what were the main, thoughts when the bout offer initially came your way?
All I know is he's an MMA fighter, and I saw that he has two bare-knuckle fighters. Two bare-knuckle fights. But other than that, I don't know too much about him. I really don't care, to be honest. Not in a cocky way. I just don't care. And I'm gonna do what I do. I care about my performance, and whatever he's gonna bring to the table, like I said, I'm gonna shut it down.
Does that feeling come from like maybe not being as much of an ardent tape study guy and just focusing on what you're doing, or maybe just not impressed with the...
I think that me focusing on myself is making me not compare my style with anybody. Like I said, again, not in a cocky way, just in a confidence way. Just like I believe in my abilities and I believe in my performance. So no matter what he's gonna do, he got two hands, and I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm gonna do. So I'm focusing on my strategy and my actions. And whatever he got, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna adjust to it, and I'm gonna shut it down.
And I guess just going back to something we were talking about before, because I thought it was interesting, like how you were kind of talking about like the certain pace of bare knuckle and how almost you have to have a certain temperament to be able to succeed within it. Like it seems like you're a guy that's like very much got that grit and composure and fight IQ, as we were talking about. Like, where does that composure come from, do you think? It seems to lend itself well to what you've been doing so far.
It just comes with life and time and maturity. It comes with, like I said, with with a fight IQ. This kind of things and this style, I adopted very easier than anything else in this world that I'm doing. So it's kind of natural to me, and yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's natural. I don't know how to put it in other way.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, obviously you're focused on this upcoming fight, but in the context of it being a title eliminator, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't get your thoughts on what that, next matchup would be should you get your desired outcome here towards the end of the month. Like, what are your thoughts on how the machinations of a Luis Palomino fight would look like? Like, how does that fight play out down the line, you think?
So if he stays at 165, and because he got to choose from 165 and 165, so if he stays at 165 and we fight, that's gonna be a bad night for him, like, for sure, because he's a tough opponent. He's definitely skilled. He knows what he's doing in there, like, hands down, for sure. But I will bring something else to the table. Like, I'm an aggressive fighter, which is, like, I'm also calm. And I don't know, man. None of their styles impress me, to be honest. Like, none of them.
I was going to say that's interesting because a lot of people see Luis Palomino as that number one pound for pound fighter in the sport. Like, but there's certain holes in his game that you're picking up on.
For now, he is, for sure. Yeah, like, there's no doubt. But he's going to have to fight me.
Yeah, well, that would be a very compelling fight. And another compelling fight that seems to be one you have your eye on is a collision with Mike Perry eventually. Like, it seems like there's been a bit of banter out there for that one, and he seems like one of the bigger kind of like stars that's established himself in BKFC. Do you think
Mike Perry at 175, at 185, at 165, at whatever weight he wants, I'll fight him, and I'll fight him on like 2 days notice, 12 hours, whatever he wants. Everything on his terms, I will fight him.
I was going to say, what is it about that fight that intrigues you there? Just because he's like a bigger name, or is there something deeper than that going on?
Yeah, he's a bigger name. He got success behind him. And I feel like he's bringing that success in bare-knuckle, but that doesn't mean anything to me, and I just want to prove everybody that the UFC success and the MMA, that doesn't mean anything over here in bare-knuckle.
And do you think that happens at some point in 2023, that Perry fight?
I don't know if he wants this, to be honest. I don't think he wants it. So I think he'll just stay writing stuff on Instagram, commenting every now and then. But I don't think he will take the fight.
A lot of interesting options for you, and just one of the last questions I had. I'm always curious about like the backstory of fighter nicknames and stuff like that, and I love your nickname Go-Go. It kind of just reminds me of Inspector Gadget a little bit. But like, what's the backstory and everything? Like, who gave it to you, and what's the meaning behind it and all that?
Oh no, Go-Go is just a nickname that I got it since a kid in Macedonia. Over there, it's short from Gorjan, and over here I like Go-Go more because people are mistaken when they're pronouncing my name because it's written with a J. So people are pronouncing Gorjan. And I don't like it, man, to be honest. So I'm like, just call me Go-Go, It's cool. So I stay with it.
Yeah, that's cool. So like childhood buddies kind of gave it to you, and it just kind of fit as a nickname when you started fighting?
Yeah. Now my teammates are joking that they're like, it's go here, and now Howard is calling me stop. You're not go anymore. You just stop people. You stop.
No, that's funny, man. But really appreciate you making some time to talk. It's been fun getting some insights from you ahead of a big fight like this, but I do want to be mindful of your time as well. So is there anything you maybe would like to add as a parting thought as we're kind of wrapping up here from Gorjan?
Sorry, I didn't hear that part, brother.
Oh, no worries. Just if there's like any like last kind of parting thought you might want to put out there as we're wrapping up.
Thank you for inviting me. Like, I really appreciate it. And I'll definitely talk to you soon with a title again, for sure.
Yeah, definitely down to, talk again and looking forward to that day. But until then, very excited for BKFC 35, and people can check out your fight with Yosdenis Cedeno on January 27th. So, yeah, to reiterate, thanks for making some time to talk, man, and just have a good rest of your day too, Gorjan.
It's a pleasure to talk to you.